The carnivore diet is getting more and more popular, and it goes against all the research of what a healthy diet is. So, why are some people doing so great with it? Today, I share with you my personal perspective of why it is good and why it might not be good. I'm Dr. Jake. I'm a naturopathic medical doctor and an integrative physician. On this channel, I share with you how you can heal your body down to the root causes without any harmful drugs or surgery. Be sure to subscribe for more videos like this one.
You're watching the Dr. Jake podcast.
Let's talk about what is the carnivore diet and why could it be good for some people. So the carnivore diet is what it is. So you're eating kind of what a lion eats, right? You're just eating meat. That is just steak, chicken, pork, fish, etc. You're not eating any fruits, vegetables, grains, nuts, seeds, etc. It is and you're not adding a lot of stuff to the meat either. You're not adding pepper. You are adding salt. That tends to be just fine, no problem. But you're not adding spices typically because that can be an issue with the people that are actually responding well to the carnivore diet. Now, I have seen the carnivore diet work well and work wonders for certain people, but I do not recommend that this is the first thing I do, and this is not a diet I recommend doing long term, except if there's really nothing else that we can do. So, but it can work well with people that just have these guts that are so messed up. They might have all these bacteria that aren't appropriate. They have a lot of inflammation in there. I have dived into there, really find out what's going on and really trying to identify the gut dysbiosis and trying to really calm down the immune system and really heal it up. That's what I usually go with first. And that vast majority, 99% of people do great with doing that. But there are that 1% that do fantastic on the carnivore diet, and there's nothing else that works for them. Following this diet makes their bowels work great. They don't have inflammation. They have a great deal of mental clarity because they don't have that inflammatory response happening anymore. Now, you're not going to get those great antioxidants and all the other great nutrients that we get from the fruits and vegetables and other foods. You are going to get efficient amount of nutrients to be able to live and kind of thrive. But my personal opinion, if someone is doing so great on the carnivore diet, it's just telling me that the body is so out of whack, the immune system's not working appropriately, and we need to really dive into it. And maybe we could do the carnivore diet for a short period of time while we work on all the other issues. And sometimes we might not be able to get the gut all healed up because we're not able to get the good bacteria in there, and they just need a new gut flora. And sometimes these type of people need to get a fecal transplant. And a fecal transplant is what it is. It might sound really gross. Is you get a donor of someone's feces and you make sure it's tested appropriately, and it's someone that has a really healthy GI tract. They've been tested thoroughly. They've had a lot of questionnaires to them, and then you do a fecal transplant to really rebalance that microbiota. And that's probably why you're doing so well with the carnivore diet, is because your gut's so messed up, it's not responding to anything, and then you're able to feel okay. But you might be able to eat a much healthier, good diet if you do a fecal transplant. So that's something there. This is recommendations I've given to some of my patients, but some people aren't willing to go that route. But I think a lot of these people that are doing well with the carnivore diet probably would do well there. But I'm sure there's people out there that have even done that and do well with the carnivore diet, and I'm not going to judge them. It really is the diet for them, for their body type. So let's talk about why is a fecal transplant sometimes better than taking a lot of probiotics? Because what's going on is, okay, you're taking the probiotics, but you also have all these other bad bugs in there, and you're not able to get all the good bugs that are in there. I mean, probiotics are probiotics. They don't have all the microflora that we're exposed to all the time. And someone's microbiota might be all messed up. They have too many bad guys, not enough good guys. It's not able to stick well enough because they have all these bad guys in there. And how the fecal transplant works is you kill off all your bugs in your entire gut. You take strong antibiotics for a while. You just clear it. And you might be thinking, why can't you just take probiotics after that? Because you're not getting a broad enough probiotic. You're not able to get enough. You're getting so much more when you do a fecal transplant, and you're taking on their whole microbiome, which is not just probiotics. It's pretty much you're giving them a healthy colon. You're transplanting the healthy colon of this one person and giving it to this person with the unhealthy colon when we do that, because you're getting this whole new microbiome in there. So it's a total different thing. Now, I'm not recommending that for everyone. These are for people that aren't responding to a lot of the treatments that we're doing, the probiotics, healing up the gut, staying away from foods that are causing an issue, on and on. But fecal transplant can be a lifesaver for some people. On the carnivore diet, can you take supplements and still get the same effect? No. We can't, because let's say you take this berry blend that has all these great antioxidants. They're going to probably respond poorly to it. They're doing so well with the carnivore diet because their body's not seeing all these substances come in, and it gets overstimulated. And when you take a supplement supplement, it has all these other things in it, like it has certain herbs or nutrients. Let's say it's purely laboratory grown, but it still has certain chemicals on it, and their body's going to respond poorly to that. So if you're following the carnivore diet, you're not going to be able to take a multivitamin. You're not going to be able to take these green powders or anything to get these antioxidants. You're not even going to be able to take glutathione, for example, because it has certain things in there to stabilize it that they are going to likely respond poorly to. Now, this isn't for every carnivore diet person. These are for the people, when I recommend the carnivore diet, these are people that are reacting to everything. And if you give them some type of supplement, they respond poorly to that. And then we just can't do anything. But the carnivore diet is a lifesaver for these type of people. Is their immune system actually able to have a rest? So yeah, no, majority of people can't do supplements. Now, let's say you're taking the carnivore diet and you're doing it just for weight loss, which I'm not a huge fan for, but some people need it because they get this chronic inflammatory response. I'm a fan there. But just following the carnivore diet because you want to lose weight, there's so many other things that we can do. But those type of people, they could take supplements and they're going to be just fine and not have this issue. What type of meat do I recommend for someone that's doing a carnivore diet? I want to make sure that you're actually getting a clean meat. So if you're going to eat beef, for example, make sure it's grass fed and try to your best to make sure that it's actually not pesticide laden grass. Okay. It's grass fed, but they're getting hay that was sprayed with a ton of glyphosate or a ton of pesticides or herbicides. That's then going to go in the meat and be a problem. So my favorite is try to get a grass fed organic beef. Get a chicken that's organic and free range. So wild caught fish is what I recommend you eat. I don't like any farm raised fish. This is going to be very high in corn and a lot of pesticides or herbicides and PCBs. So it's not going to be healthy for you at all. So you want to get wild caught. And even better would be like North Alaskan fish because it's going to be less contaminated waters and it's going to have less mercury or other heavy metals in it. And then pork. I'm not a huge fan of pork. I don't think you should be eating a ton of pork when you're on the carnivore diet because it's hard to really get it clean. But there are some really good sources of pork. You just got to make sure you get a good one that there are actually free range pork and they're just eating food off the land. That's a good source of pork. So how are people actually getting enough fuel from just meat? So they're not getting any carbs. Oh, how are you functioning without it? We could live just fine without carbohydrates. We get the protein and the fat. Our body uses that for fuel sources. Protein gets broken down very easily to make glucose. So you are getting plenty of fuel source from meat. Now, you're not getting all the nutrients out there, but you're getting a sufficient amount of nutrients from the carnivore diet. Believe it or not, from meat, you are getting enough nutrients. We're missing out on some of the things that we were talking about, but you're getting the basics and you're going to be able to live good life and actually have good energy. And if you talk to people that are following the carnivore diet, they typically say their energy is awesome. They don't usually complain about low energy at all because they don't have all this inflammatory stuff happening in their bodies anymore. They're not eating that sugar. They're not eating these grains that really bog down your metabolism. So they're actually feeling great when they're following this. I recommend that someone eats a high fat meat compared to a lean meat. Yes and no. If they're eating a good quality meat, I do want them to get a fattier meat because they're going to get the fuel source from the fat, but they don't always have to do that. They could do it off and on. But if you're just eating lean meats, I don't think it's not going to be as healthy as if you're eating the meats high in fat. But I don't want you just eating meats high in fat. It's just a balance between the two, eating lean and fatty meats. So how long can you do the carnivore diet and then how to stay healthy? This all depends on what's going on in your body. If you are doing this solely to lose weight, I wouldn't do it for a long time. I am concerned about possibly some of the issues that could go along with it long term. Do it, lose your weight, and then follow a more low carb diet, decrease sugar, make sure you eat very clean and don't add a lot of junk into your diet. That's going to be a good maintenance type of diet. So if you're doing carnivore, you're going to put off the pounds, then you go into a very low carb, good quality, clean type of diet is my suggestion. Now, these other people that their guts are so messed up, their immune systems are so out of whack that they respond poorly to every food they put in except for meat. This usually can be a long-term diet for them and they can function really well. My suggestion is really trying really hard to find out what's going on in their body. Go to doctors that are skilled to figure this out because you might be saying, I've been to every doctor on the planet, but all doctors aren't created equal. All are trained in a different way. They all have different testing to figure out what's going on. But I'm not a fan of staying on this forever, except if it's absolutely needed. Usually we're able to figure out things and you don't have to follow the carnivore diet forever. I recommend someone that's following the carnivore diet and that's the only thing that works for them is you need to go to a skilled integrative physician that really really understands how to get your gut healed up and understands how to get your immune system all under control. Not any integrative physician, just got to go to the right one, because they're not all created equal, but find a good one and figure things out, because I'm not a huge fan of doing this forever. So yeah, if you want to find us, visit our website, integrativemedica.com. Find our phone number there, give my front desk staff a call and set up an appointment with me or some of my other great doctors that we have. You could also sign up for a visit directly on our website. If you want to learn more about a healthy diet and gut health, click my videos to the right. I'm Dr. Jake, and I'll see you there.